Think of it like a tax you pay when buying something from another country. For example, if the US adds 25% tariff on Canadian lumber, American companies pay extra to import it. That makes Canadian products more expensive and less competitive. Now, why is this happening? The US says these tariffs are about stopping illegal drugs like fentanyl and improving border security. But Canada's response: we're not the problem, we're part of the solution. Canada fights back. Canada didn't just sit back, they responded with $155 billion in tariffs on US goods. And here's how. Phase 1 started February 4th, a 25% tariff on 30 billion of US products like orange juice, beer, bourbon, clothing, and paper. Phase 2 kicks in 21 days later, another 125 billion in tariffs, this time targeting cars, trucks, beef, pork, and steel. Canada wants to hit industries that will hurt the US economy and catch public's attention. Imagine walking into your grocery store and seeing American products suddenly 25% more expensive. That's the goal. These tariffs don't just affect businesses, they affect everyday people. If you're used to buying American made jeans or appliances, get ready for higher prices. Meanwhile, US consumers could see an increase in the cost of Canadian oil, lumber, and even maple syrup. No one's escaping a trade war without feeling the pinch. Provinces stepped in. The federal government isn't alone in this fight. Provinces are making their own moves. Ontario and Quebec stopped selling American alcohol like bourbon in the liquor stores. Nova Scotia doubled toll fees for US trucks drivers. Manitoba completely banned US alcohol imports. British Columbia added new fees to US goods entering the province. Alberta announced potential restrictions on US beef imports affecting ranchers south of the border. Saskatchewan proposed reducing US agriculture imports to protect local farmers. Newfoundland and Labrador began exploring trade partnerships outside of the US to diversify its economy. This isn't just about money, it's about pressure. As Industry Minister Francois Philippe Champagne put it, we'll make sure Americans feel this. So, why does this matter? Canada and the US are deeply connected. Tariffs disrupt supply chains, raise prices, and could even cost jobs on both sides. If you work in the auto industry, tariffs could impact your job security. If you're a small business owner, your costs might go up if you import American materials. If you're a consumer, you'll see price increases across multiple sectors, from food to clothing to electronics. For Canadians, this means paying more for things like jeans, appliances, and even some food items. For Americans, higher prices for Canadian oil, lumber, grass, maple syrup. Farmers, manufacturers, and retailers on both sides are worried about what's happening next. The latest update: after threats from both sides, there's now a 30-day pause on tariffs. Canada made three big promises in return: a 1.3 billion of border security to help stop drug trafficking, a new fentanyl Caesar to be led and fight against fentanyl smuggling, 24/7 surveillance and high-risk border crossings. Sounds like progress, right? But here's the catch. If talks fail by March 4th, the tariffs come right back. Canada's message: we're ready to fight back. Trade negotiations are complex. Behind the scene, diplomats and trade representatives are scrambling to find a middle ground. The stakes are high. Canada and the US trade over 725 billion worth of goods every year. Disrupting the flow can hurt both economies more than either side is willing to admit. At the heart of this negotiation is the balance between economic interests and political power, with both governments feeling the pressure from citizens and industries. Every decision made will have a consequence beyond just a trade. It affects jobs, cost of living, and even elections. So what's next? Trade wars are like boxing matches. Both sides end up bruised. The US and Canada have been economic partners for decades. and these tariffs put the relationship to the test. If tariffs resume, it won't just be about business. It could spill over into politics, diplomacy, and even in the 24 US elections. American voters might pressure the leaders to ease the tension if they start feeling the effects of their wallets. Meanwhile, Canadian officials have to walk a fine line between defending their economy and maintaining good relations with the biggest trading partner. Experts say the best outcome would be negotiate deals, remove the tariffs while addressing U.S. concerns about border securities and drug trafficking. But if the talks fail, we could see even harsher trade restrictions, lawsuits at the World Trade Organization, and long term damage to North American trade. Looking ahead, Canadian businesses and consumers must prepare for uncertainty, whether through diversifying markets, reducing the dependence on U.S. imports, or seeking trade deals with other nations. Adapting to change will be key. So, what can you do? Pay attention to where your products come from, and remember, trade wars aren't just about governments, they affect all of us. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for updates. Let me know how do you think this will